the face of this growing terror threat, as you've just defined it, it is extensive. We've also seen thousands of, let's face it, terror supporters marching on the street absurdly in the name of peace. How do you think, Seb, that Western leaders internationally have responded to this?
Well, in some cases, they've just stuck their head in the sand. And in other cases, they have thought that they can deal with this threat with some kind of political negotiation or some kind of economic aid. But they're wrong. They're wrong. I've spent 30 years teaching the strategy, the ideology of the jihadi movement, from the Ikhwan, the Muslim Brotherhood, on down through Al-Qaeda and through ISIS today. We have to understand that this is a war between the civilized world, the Judeo-Christian West, the greatest civilization the world has ever seen, and the barbarians, those who wish to destroy our civilization, whether it's those responsible for 9/11, whether it's those responsible for the heinous attacks of October the 7th in Israel, where women and children and unarmed men were targeted. This is a war to the death where only one side can win. The forces of light and goodness, or those who really are working for the destruction of our civilization.
That's so well put, and I'd go further and say that some international leaders have been utterly weak, they've been ineffective, hopeless, and probably have enabled the terror threat to grow. And that's not to mention the billions of dollars the Biden administration gave to Iran, and then the other international leaders calling for a ceasefire instead of showing strength and solidarity. Well, what's your response to this?
I can completely concur. When you're giving literally billions of dollars, as the Biden administration did, to those who preach every Friday from the mullahs' pulpits, death to the West, that's suicide. That's sheer insanity. When you think that you can negotiate with people who call for the death of every Christian and every Jew, it's just political suicide. It's civilizational suicide. So yes, we need leadership. And the good news is when President Trump, my former boss, and God willing, my future boss, gets behind that resolute desk, every nation in the world will have a decision to make. Do you stand with those who are taking the fight to the jihadis, to the terrorists, to the evildoers? Or do you stand with those who are trying to destroy our civilization? It will be a stark choice. But as I said when I was in the White House the first time, borrowing a phrase from the Marine Corps, my beloved devil dogs, it's very simple. America, no better friend, no worse enemy. And there will be a time for choosing for all the nations of the world. Do you stand with us, or do you stand with the jihadis?
Yeah, very strong words. Well, in light of this, and I understand you've just been appointed and this is one of your first interviews, but the president has been clear he won't tolerate terror supporters remaining in the United States. What will you do to stop homegrown terror?
We have a domestic threat as well. When you side with those who are calling for the extermination of Israel from the river to the sea, when we have people who are, let's put it mildly or diplomatically, useful idiots or worse, working for the Iranian regime inside very sensitive positions in the US government, that cannot be allowed to stand. So yes, we have lots of plans, my dear friend, but it would be impolitic and improper for me to reveal any of them right now.